It's Aloha Friday, my friends. This is Billy Wiggly coming at you live from the Ninth Island, Las Vegas, Nevada. And what a good day we are having today. We are finally on Aloha Friday, finally going to complete the process that we've been working on for the last 2 weeks where we use the Excel formula bot as we test it out. Let's see. Let me share with you the Excel formula bot that we've been working with all week. We've been trying it out. As you all know, Excel formula bot. Where is my Excel formula? Excuse me a second. Let me share, change the screen that we are sharing. And there we have it right here, the Excel formula bot. So we've been using the Excel formula bot all last week. When you try it out, you get 5 tries. I liked it so much that I signed up for a month. And the next thing you know, I just went ahead and signed up for a whole year. And we can log in and you can see that the Excel formula bot, we can write formulas with it for Google Sheets, for Excel. We can even ask it to explain formulas for us. And it's also got this other feature. It's got the VBA feature where we can type in the VBA or the task that we want to have the Excel formula bot write the code for us. And then we press submit. It gives us an output of the code. And then what do we do with the code? Well, we got to know what to do with the code. So what we've got today is we've got our friend Daniel Strong from Excel VBA is Fun. He's an Excel VBA expert. And let's bring him right on board. Here we go. My friend Dan, how are you doing today?
Billy. Hey, man. Glad to be here. Doing great.
Sure is nice to have you, man. I really enjoyed taking a look at some of the Ultimate Excel VBA course. And hey, don't you have a free VBA course that you get people started in on?
Absolutely. Yep.
Which one is it right here on your website?
So I don't know where the link is actually. I know if you go to my website and just take that URL /free-training, we're doing a little bit of a redesign right now, but if you go to my website /free-training, I know that's one way you can get to the free training. Oh, did I give you the wrong URL?
Maybe you can share with me in the chat and I'll post it for us.
You got it.
It's a great way to get started with VBA. VBA is the language of Excel. And you can get Excel to do anything when you use VBA. Many of you have probably been hearing about VBA and thinking to yourself, hey, I really want to get into VBA, but you haven't figured out exactly, how to go about and approach it. Well, one way is just to get started using Daniel's free course. You send me that link. Let's see. Here we go.
Might have been a typo. Yeah, it's just /free-training. Yep.
All right, let's take a quick look. And let me copy that. I'm going to put this in the chat for us so that everybody has access to it.
Awesome.
All right. Hey, Larry. Hey, what's up? Gafir from Algeria. How are you doing today? And then we've also got Gafir is in we also got Rocky. Check it out. Rocky is in Cape Town. What is up, Rocky? How are you? Are you a VBA proficient Excel user, or are you wanting to learn more about the Excel formula bot and how you can use it to write VBA code with? Larry, is the screen still a little bit fuzzy for you? Let me know. It should already be, it could be your connection because we've tested everything out and I've got multiple connections. It's all coming in pretty good. It's only when we switch screens where it started coming in. Hey, what's up, Manush coming from Miami? Gee hoo, what's up? How's the weather over there? Over here in Las Vegas, it's sunny and nice.
Lucky.
What's going on in Missouri?
It's just murky out, a little cold. Yeah, man. Not
Oh, I'm
bad. Not
sorry.
bad.
You should come visit us in Vegas. But we stay
Yeah,
positive. The
baby.
weather doesn't affect us. We are always
No.
staying positive. Hey, what's this? Go Niners. Yay, go Niners. Right on. Woo. I'm not really a big football fan, but I think aren't they like a top team? Aren't they going to the playoffs? Do you know about that, Dan?
Do not know anything about it.
Well, we
I
got our
wish I
friend
did.
from
Oh,
Romania, Bogdan. What's going on? Hey, McAllen, Texas. Don't mess with Texas. Project Save the World is working that.
hey,
Saving the
Eric.
world for you.
Hey,
You
buddy.
seeing people you know over here?
Yeah, the Excel
Oh, look at
enthusiast,
this. Look
Eric.
at
What's up,
this.
buddy?
Rocky is
From
one of your
Athens.
students, Dan. Woohoo, right
Oh man,
on.
you're reading fast. Oh, great. Hey, thank you, Rocky. I appreciate that, man. That's awesome.
And then now we got Manouche letting us know that it's a little bit cold for Florida, but hey, we feeling good. Hey, this is it. Somebody saying hi to you, Dan. It's the Excel
Yeah,
enthusiast. Hey,
yeah.
those of you that I got links to your own websites or your own YouTube channels, share them in the chat. The more, the merrier. We got to exercise habit number 6 of highly effective people. You know, the 7 habits of highly effective people. Habit number 6 is synergize. Steven, my
Mm.
friend, it's been years since I saw you. Go Cowboys. Hey, that's cool. Cowboys are cool. Don't you got that guy Dak Prescott? I feel really proud of myself because I'm actually mentioning names of football players, and I'm not really a sports guy. Steven Peacock, man. Steven was one of my students in a seminar that I taught in Texas back in like 2011, 2012. Right
Nice.
on, Steven. Looking good, brother. All right. Project Save the World is laughing. And what is the free training link? Let's see. I think I put it in the chat already. If I didn't, let me go ahead and put it in there again. So I just put the link to the free VBA course in there. And I'm saying you go ahead and sign right up for it. Woo! Too much excitement going on right now, my brother. What do you think?
Well, I agree.
I
Man,
feel
I
tall.
love
Am I
this.
really this tall?
Whoop. There we
All
go.
right, hey man. So why don't we go ahead and let's get started. Let's check it out. Let's go right over to this is what we're gonna work on today. I'm gonna close this window and we're gonna let Dan go ahead and hey, wait, check it out. We got a surprise. We've got the man, the developer himself, the person
Oh,
responsible for this
David.
fun that we are having today, Mr. David Bressler.
Yo,
Right
can you
on, my
hear
friend.
me?
How are you today?
I'm good. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I am in my full time job office right now, so I made sure to close the door for the secret little call that I'm on for my side project. So here I am. Thanks for having
Look how dedicated you are. Huh?
me, man.
Hey, all of you out there listening to us, that's how you got to be. No matter what it takes, you're always working on achieving that definite major purpose and making your dream real.
Got
Woohoo!
you got to hustle, right?
That's right, man. Hustling all the time, and enjoying your life too while we're at it. I mean, there's a reason why we're hustling, right? So that we can get to that point where we just enjoy our lives. And we're going to enjoy today. I just got a quick question for you, David. Why? Why
Why,
the Excel formula bot?
man? So, my full time job, I work for a marketing analytics agency called Net Conversion. And post COVID, we were a big wave of the Great Resignation. A lot of people left. We had to hire a lot of people. We hired a lot of young talent, a lot of what we do on a day-to-day basis is in Excel. And for really all of 2021, I just became like the Excel guy. And so a lot of these young folks, they came to me, they're like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I've got my own things to take care of, and I couldn't get bogged down by it. And so, last year, middle of the year, last year, I was on paternity leave. I was off for 6 weeks, and I'm someone who my wheels are always spinning. I'm always thinking of something. I've got a laundry list of shower thoughts, and I was like, you know what? AI is becoming pretty popular. I've got 6 weeks to build something. And I started playing around with AI. I was like, I wonder, because I work in analytics, so AI is kind of the next evolution. Analytics is kind of like the gateway drug. And I started playing around with it, and I asked it, what's the formula for sum of column A? And it got it right. And then I was like, let's ask it a harder question. And it got that right. I'm like, I think I'm on something. And so, of course, the next day I go on Google. I'm looking to see, does this already exist? And I'm freaking out. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to build it. And so I really built it initially thinking it would be like an internal tool for my team. So that way they'd stop asking me questions so I can go on with my day. And then I posted it on Reddit thinking I would get, 2 or 3 testers testing it out. And I posted it on Reddit, and next day that Reddit post got like 20,000 upvotes. It was then reposted to another Reddit where there was about 100,000 upvotes. Next day, guy on my team calls me up and says, hey, there was a big guy, a big social influencer on TikTok who has 5 million followers. He just talked about your video. So then I downloaded TikTok for the first time. I didn't even have it. And I saw it. I'm like, oh my God. I started freaking out. And at that time, it wasn't even a subscription. It was like the Hunger Games, man. You go to the site and it was a free for all. There was no login, no cost. And I quickly racked up several $1,000s in API AI cost. And I'm like, oh my God, like I need to build this thing fast. I needed to build a paywall. I needed to build logins. And so for a month, I just locked myself in a room, built it to what it is today. And
okay, wait.
Then we've got about 200,000 people that sign up.
You did this in 6 weeks?
Yeah.
With a brand new baby?
Yeah. And a 3-year-old and a full
Man.
And a wife.
So are y'all listening to David? Most of us, we got a lot of people always asking us, when you know a little bit about Excel, always people are like, what's a VLOOKUP? Or can you take a look at this here real quick for me? Or, this is no big deal. And we, you go in and you help them. How many of us decided, you know what? I'm just going to design some AI that they can use so that they can stop bothering me. Wow.
Wow.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I've got bags under my eye, both of them. But yeah, it's been a journey, and I'm looking forward to what happens next because I don't even know.
You've got imitators now. So what is it they say that when
there's about 20 of them?
Yeah. So don't they say something about imitation is the greatest form of flattery?
Yeah. I mean, when they started popping up, I was getting so frustrated. I was getting genuinely upset because some of them, they don't have a full-time job. They don't have a wife. They don't have 2 kids. They're some punk ass college kid who's got time for himself. And I was getting really frustrated. And then I realized, like, hey, it's the exact phrase that you said. And they also don't have the vision that I have in here. And so even yesterday, or a couple weeks ago, I rolled out a new feature of where users can select their Excel version, because there are some formulas like text join or XLOOKUP that you can't get in older Excel versions, and people were complaining. So I was like, okay, I'll build out that feature. And then I follow all the competitors on social media, and they're doing the same thing just weeks after. And so I think in AI especially, I do think first mover has a huge advantage because that's the one that, I'm still riding the coattails of virality and people talking about it. I've spent less than $1,000 on marketing, and I mentioned the hundreds of thousands of people that have used it. And so first movers in AI goes a long way.
Some of those imitators have gone as far as imitating the look of your website. I mean, they've copied everything. I went to one of those imitators and I thought it was your website for a second until I started looking closely, and it's actually not the ExcelFormulaBot. Everything else is like the ExcelFormulaBot except the name. And that was really interesting. I don't know if this is a question that you can answer for us, but we got Killian here asking, what language is it written in?
So the actual the code base, it's going to sound crazy, but I'm not a coder. I'm not a software engineer. There's a lot of technology out there these days that are no code web applications. And so one of them is called bubble.io. Anyone who just has some time to read documentation can build a web application just like this without writing a single line of code. And so the language it was written in was just, it wasn't written in anything. It's actually, the building it out is actually very similar to working in Excel. There's a lot of parallels. It's a lot of rule-based logic. So I would encourage you to take a look at it.
It's just like anytime AI comes out, like I started sharing the ExcelFormulaBot. I spent already like a week and a half live streaming about it because I like it so much. And then I always get the question, aren't you worried that you're going to lose your job because of AI? And like, the more I use the ExcelFormulaBot, the more I realize you really got to know Excel basics, because how are you going to ask the question? I mean, we got to know how to ask the right question so that we can get the right answer. That's why I'm always saying E plus R equals O. And if you don't know the basics, E plus R equals O, event, your response, how you ask the question determines the outcome. So we're always focused on the outcome that we desire, and that formulates the question, right? So like with VBA, like I was saying, we can use the VBA code generator and it generates a code for us, but then what do we do with the code? One thing that I thought was pretty cool about the ExcelFormulaBot was the part where we can go into formulas and we can ask it to explain, basic tasks. This one right here, where we can just, like Excel has its own built-in AI, sort of it. It's called the data analysis tool. And when you click on the data analysis tool, it analyzes the data and then it suggests usually a pivot table for you and some pivot charts. What I like about the ExcelFormulaBot is it'll tell us how to make that pivot table, the steps necessary, and that really enhances our learning, because you can have a pivot table, then what? It always ends up being, and then what? So today what we have is, instead of me or you, David, trying to, neither one of us are coders, trying to come in here and play around with the ExcelFormulaBot and have it generate some VBA code for us, and then we're kind of like going to fumble through it. Well, we got an expert. We got our friend Dan Strong. So, hey, Dan, why don't you go right ahead and just share your screen with us right here, and
Let me move some stuff around here.
Let me know when you're ready for me to share that screen.
I think I am ready now.
All right, so let's go. Let's take a look at what
you guys see this?
What you're up
Scrolling up and down. Oh yeah, I'm looking I got 3 monitors. I'm like, yeah, that looks good. Awesome. Well, yeah. So I just want to speak to what you said, Billy. Though, like, I agree. It's like you've been talking about all week. There's no way this is going to replace us. It's going to help enhance people to have these tools, but we use these tools to, we can learn syntax, we can learn how things work, but ultimately, sometimes with AI, you have to be able to recognize either there's something just barely wrong with this, or more likely, you know, I know enough from the syntax that I just got from AI. Now I can take that and tweak it with other stuff because I have that foundation of knowing some things in VBA or in Excel and using formulas. So it's just like it's just another tool, and it's a powerful tool. So yeah, I wanted to start off with exactly what it says right here in this little placeholder. So, you know, that's when you and I were testing this together, Billy, we were like, hey, let's just try right that. See where it says print all worksheet names. So I'm just going to type that out for a good
And,
demonstration. And kind of
yeah, I'm going to
go
interrupt you
ahead.
real quick there.
Go ahead.
Dan said, "Hey everybody." Dan said that we met before this to test out a few things. I just want you to know that that's the only time I've ever done that. Because Dan is very thorough and he wanted to make sure everything's working right.
I
As
am.
y'all know, the purpose of this show is we just go live and we just go for it, just to prove to you that you can do it yourself too. If I can do it.
Right. I
All right.
appreciate that. Yeah, I was like freaking out. Like, you know, I don't go live very often, Billy, and you're so good at this. Can you please let me in the studio and let me just look around and everything? And then I got an account with this. So, I
Hey,
want to
real
show.
quick,
Yeah, go
so
ahead.
real quick, it actually just goes to show how little I actually look at the VBA section, because I also just realized that the output on this is the output for the Excel formula, at least the placeholder. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a real-time change. So I want you to type in print all worksheet names. If you can, copy and paste the actual output, and I'll update it in real time so you guys can take a look at it so I can fix it with you.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll paste that in the chat. That's a good
Yeah.
idea. So let me do that. Can you still see my screen, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Print all worksheet names.
This is actually your screen right there. That was my
Right.
screen we were looking at. There we go.
All right.
Oh,
Print all
okay.
worksheet names. So as soon as you hit
So
submit,
it is right. Okay.
Yeah.
you see it?
Okay.
So I'm
We're
gonna
good.
hit submit, and we're gonna see what it says. Or is this the? Oh, okay, we were looking at the wrong
You
screen.
were
on
looking
the
at my
output.
screen that for some reason
Okay.
was you know that's something that I did notice, David,
Yeah.
is that if I'm in the formulas tab, like
Yeah.
for example, I go to the formulas,
Yeah.
right? And then I went back to VBA. That's when this didn't change. The output part didn't change. It was showing that sum if. I don't know. It's like there's like
Oh, it
it's
might have been because, can you go back to formulas? It might have been because you might have clicked those buttons. So if you click Excel, the button, and then generate, and then go to the VBA. Oh no, that's weird.
well,
I'll
it only did it
take
a
a look
couple
at
times.
it. Maybe
I
what you're
noticed it before.
like I mentioned, I'm not a coder.
It just one of those things that makes you go, huh?
Yeah, you just never know with all that stuff. So yeah, so if you hit submit, it's gonna think about it, and just it already had like the answer basically down here. But I think this is very good, especially for giving you a foundation. So I don't know, Billy, if you want me to go through this, but I'd love to talk about kind of the output here for a second,
Yeah,
if
let's
that's all
go
right.
for it.
Yeah, so
Yes.
basically they're just saying I is going to be a number, and we're saying it's going to be from 1 to, let's say you had 10 sheets, then this would be 10, right? We're going to go from 1 to 10. But what this is telling you to do is putting, let's say this is cell 1, and then this is sheet number 1. It's going to take the name of that and throw it in cell 1, like A1, you know. And then the next time it goes through the loop all 10 times, right, for all 10 sheets. It's going to, so in A1, it would say sheet 1, and A2, it would say sheet 2, or whatever that name was. It's great. But if you don't know, like I said, if you don't know the foundation, the fact that we're dealing with cells and we're not dealing with displaying the names, let's say on a pop-up message box or on a user form or in the screen at the bottom, or all, you know, if you know that it's going to appear on your sheet, that's really good, especially because let's say you had the active worksheet that you're looking at, you click a macro and run this, you have 10, 20 sheets. Guess what's happening to cell A1 through A, however many sheets you got? It's all gone now. It's been wiped out by this macro. And if you didn't know a little bit of foundational stuff, you can't undo a macro. So hopefully you have a backup of your workbook or you saved it, right? And that's not to say that this did a fantastic job. That's exactly the syntax you need to loop through all the sheets. It's fantastic. But you do need some foundation so you don't screw up your work. That's the only thing, if that makes sense. So, oh, well, all it is.
That's why we have you here, Dan. Thank you very
Bro.
much.
All I'm saying is, if you have to know that you can't undo a macro typically.
That's the part that I know for sure.
undo.
And I think that probably everybody
That's right.
that's made a macro before
Right.
that's on this live stream right now knows that you can't undo a macro.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could have 10,000 lines of code, and what are they going to do? Memorize every single one? No, bog down your system memory. So they don't even try. They're just like, we're not even going to try to
That's
memorize
why you
all
can't
that.
undo a macro, because it only stores up to 100 actions at a time to
Sure.
undo or redo.
You could have so many in your macro. They're just like, we're not going to mess with this. Users can do whatever they want with this. We're not going to memorize it all. I think that's what's up. So
There's a reason
yeah.
for everything.
But this is fantastic. I mean, this is really good. It's just like we're throwing together a code vault on my website, but I've been really slacking on getting it to be a good quality product. But this right there, you have these basic macros that you need at your fingertips, so it's fantastic. So yeah, man. Did you want me to try anything else, Billy, or did you want to talk about anything else?
Yeah,
right
why don't you run through a few scenarios and plug it into Excel, and let's see it work.
now? Absolutely.
I'm
So
sure you've got
let's do
something
this one.
prepared.
Let's do this. You want to just do this one on a worksheet really quick?
Yes,
fun.
let's do it.
All right, sweet.
David's sitting over there. David's like, Hayek, what's
I'm
going to
like-
happen?
I'm like, please work, please work, please work.
No, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Let me zoom in. You got that? So right now I only have
That's
two sheets, right? So it's only gonna do sheet 1 here and sheet 2 there, basically. But you hit Alt F11 to get into the Visual Basic Editor. I'm gonna make a quick code module to throw this code in, and let's paste whatever it said. So far, didn't get any errors. That's a great thing. If I want to step through the code like slow-mo, like one step at a time, I can with the F8 key, or I can just run it. So let's just run this one and see what's up. So let's run that. Boom! Look at there. Sheet 1 and sheet 2. Perfect. See, yeah, and if I added several more sheets, it's going to work again on whatever the active sheet is. In fact, it's going to work. So if I got a new active sheet right here, now it's going to have 4 of them on this sheet, just like that. So it works perfectly. And if I renamed them, you get the idea. But if I renamed them, actually, it's going to override it. That's another thing you got to know. If you want to append data, or if you wanted to add it to the end of your list, this isn't going to do that. This is going to override it. So you have to learn how to, grab the last cell and then actually start moving onward from that if you wanted to append new things to a list. So there's always more you could learn, but this is fantastic. That's a good syntax. Yeah, does that make sense? I love it.
How would you like to? So I've got like 10,000 VBA requests thus far, and I couldn't tell you what's right and what's wrong. And so, probably 95% of the requests that come in are for people asking for an Excel formula. And so, I saw someone here talking about Chat GPT. ExcelFormulaBot is actually more accurate than Chat GPT. A lot of it is based around the same technology, but I've manually gone in and fixed 4 o'clock in the morning thousands and thousands of Excel formulas that out of the box technology like Chat GPT just gets wrong. And so I was able to do that with Excel formulas, but like I mentioned, I lack the experience when it comes to VBA. So Dan, if you're looking for a project, I've got a handful of results that were deemed as incorrect. And so if you're looking for some work, let me know and I'll pass them to you.
Yeah, we can chat about that. That sounds fun.
I'm just amazed by this tool was built by a man that says he doesn't code. I don't code, but I made this tool for coders.
Yeah.
Because when you write formulas, you're coding. The
That's coding.
beginning, the entrance into coding is writing formulas in Excel. That's
Yeah,
the beginning of writing code.
yeah.
It's a
Carry
gateway
on, my
drug.
friend. Let's see what other cool
Oh,
things
100%.
you got up your sleeve there for us.
Yeah, it was just like David said, like with Bubble or with Excel formulas or any other thing like that, if you can follow step by step and then just kind of, build on that. Which one do I have here? Okay, let's do another one. Let's do an easier one. Um, Now, keeping in mind this tool is in beta, and like David said, there's a lot of there's a backlog of things that he's needs help with correcting. But so some of the more complicated requests, it might take a little bit longer to load or something. But this is a great tool. So let's see. Here's a good one. If I just want to change my chart title. Let me say. Let me make it more basic. How do you change the chart title just using VBA? Or maybe I shouldn't put a question mark. I don't know if it matters. Let's do this. Change chart title. Right. Right. So it gives you a pretty intuitive name. And then it assumes that you either have an active chart that is selected. You have to click on it in this case. But it'll take the chart titles text and allow you to basically you put any string of text you want in those quotes. And you guys want to try that out really quick?
Yeah, let's try them all.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna go back here.
I have a lot of faith in the Excel formula bot. I spent
Yeah, man.
almost 2 weeks in it already.
I'm gonna make this real terrible because I don't feel like doing a big chart. How about we make that into a chart? Does that work for everybody?
Yeah,
Step
yeah,
one and step
F11.
two. F11. So
Yeah.
yeah, baby.
Boom.
Yeah, baby. So we have a chart on another sheet here. I don't know if that's if it's going to be mad or not, but it shouldn't. So this is the active chart. You can see the little selection thing. So let's try this. Since it's selected, should be all right. In fact, let's go slow-mo. We're going to hit F8 to actually step through the macro. Instead of saying chart title, it should say new title because that is the active chart. We are on an active sheet. Oh, did you see that?
Oh! Yes, and angels.
5. Shabam. Hot damn.
Yes.
That's perfect. Yeah, so the syntax is spot on. If you want to, get more specific, obviously you can learn VBA techniques to not have to select whatever chart you want. You can say, this chart with this particular name, just change the title automatically. Or whenever a new chart appears, automatically have some naming convention based on whatever you want, the current date, the current time, what sheet you're on, what workbook name is, what's the username of the computer who's logged in, all that stuff. You can automate that too, but it takes a little bit more know-how. So what sheet were we on earlier? Chart
Are we
one, sheet, ASDF sheet.
can y'all
That's
see this
fantastic.
this question from Dave right here? Asking for input and pass that to the function.
Let's see.
Ooh,
Sounds like a
VBA.
question not for me.
I'm trying to scroll down. Oh, I can scroll down. Who said that?
Dave, Excel gateway drug to coding. How about asking for input and pass that
there
to
it
the
is.
function? Is that a trick question, Dave? Is that a challenge?
Asking for input. Oh, okay. Oh, like asking everybody in the chat and then using that.
I don't
think.
think so. Dave, you're gonna have to clarify a little bit for us so we can come up with a good answer for you there. And this one, this is a quick question. I was wondering about this one too, David. Will it do formulas for conditional formatting, or will it just explain
So,
the basic tasks?
yeah, so it's a great question. So I mentioned going in and handwriting all of the all the formulas in which out of the box AI gets wrong. And so when people would ask questions like highlight column or highlight cells red when they are greater than 100, it used to write a statement and would say if this then red. And so it wouldn't actually make it red, just a text value. It would turn into a text value string of it being red. And now, with fine tuning the model, if you were to ask it now, it would provide you with a recommendation to use one of the other generators, which can be accommodated in either VBA or basic tasks, where it lists out the steps to take in order to apply conditional formatting within the step.
So right now, Larry, I guess what David is telling us is that it's not actually going to give you the formula that you can put in for the conditional formatting, but it will explain to you the steps that you need to take to apply that conditional formatting that you're looking for.
It'll literally tell you, and you can try it. It'll tell you conditional formatting cannot be configured within an Excel formula. Please try one of our other generators.
Oh, okay. And then Dave came back to us and clarified his question. Yes, can it prompt for an answer and then pass that to function to print in message box?
Prompt for an answer. Are we talking about the formula stuff, or maybe we're talking about VBA? Because
I think we're talking about VBA here.
Prompt for an answer and then pass that function to print in a message box. I'm thinking it may get locked up and say that that's too many commands at once, but I'm not sure. That might be a David question. I don't know. So I think they're saying, can you say, hey, can we get the title of a chart and also put that in a pop-up called a message box? Can you give it multiple commands, I think is what Dave's asking. And I don't know if since it's in beta, what do you think about that, Dave? Multiple commands, or should we just try it?
This is what it's like. This is what it's like for the AI when we're asking it questions,
right?
And we're not really clear on the questions that we're asking, or maybe we're really clear on the question that we're asking, but the AI is sitting there thinking, "What are they asking me?" So it just starts spitting out answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I have a best practice when it comes to asking for Excel formulas. I don't have a best practice when it comes to writing VBA. And with VBA, oftentimes it can be a very big chunk of code in which I've found that it kind of times out. And I think that's some of the experience that you've had. So I recommend, where you can, breaking it apart into kind of bits and like smaller pieces where you can again. But yeah, besides that, I would just say let it rip and let's see what happens.
Smart.
That's what we're doing right now. Yeah, just going for it.
Well, let me try it then.
Yeah.
You down with that?
Let's try it.
All right, let's see. So if I'm understanding Dave, let's just instead of changing the chart title, let's say reveal, I guess, active chart title and display in a message box. Let's see if that, maybe that's going to confuse it. Maybe it's fine. Let's try it. Or maybe that's too many. Oh, would you look at that? It combo mealed it. That's awesome. So Dave, if you're out there, I think you still are. It said, hey, let's do a message box of the active charge title text. That's brilliant. So yes, hopefully to answer your question, it did. It combined those perfectly. That's exactly how you would do that. I like it. Well, you want to try it? You want to try it in Excel? We can prove it. I'm pretty sure that's exactly how you would do that. So if I go here, shabam, chart title, I would probably rename that later so we don't have too many overlapping names, but we have an active chart. No, we don't. Now we do. We have an active chart. See, if I did that on the wrong sheet, I'd get an error. So if I run this, there's my message box with the chart title right there. It says hot dang. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yes.
I like that.
On. Bring it on.
Perfect.
Yeah. Hey, that's cool.
Yeah,
there's all kinds of angels playing all around here.
That was
hey,
cool.
Look good. So we're getting some good questions over here. There's one about flash fill. Can you use the bot VBA? You can the answer. I can answer that. VBA you can pretty much use for anything. Now, the Excel formula bot for flash fill, I think it would just tell us the steps on how to use flash fill, basically.
It
You know,
may. It may. Could one also use the bot or VBA to do the same function as flash fill? Oh, okay. So not using the actual flash fill feature, but essentially looping through and do. Yeah, I mean, we could try it. Let's see. I'm trying to think of how I'd word that though. Maybe I'll just ask it to. I don't know. I'm gonna say use flash fill. Let's see what it says. Use flash fill. So if not, then I would say, we need a loop. We need a loop that divides the first name and last name or something like that. Which it's already showed us it can use a loop whenever we asked it to print. Because it gave us how to do, I is equal to 0, and then we're going to go from 1 to whatever number we want. It looks like it's probably going to time out for this one.
it might not. It might make it. It's still going.
Wait for
It's
it.
still going.
Stay on
David
target.
is sitting there like David is like, oh,
Stay
okay,
on
what's gonna
target.
happen? Come on, man, he's stressing.
It's gonna time out.
Don't stress.
It's like we're in Las Vegas right now. I'm in Las Vegas right now. We're waiting for the results.
So yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
What would happen if you try it in the basic tasks?
In here, yeah, let's go here. So basic tasks, and we're gonna basically ask it there, right? So would I say how to, or should I just say use?
Yeah, just fine. Same thing. It's
Okay.
fine.
Let's try this, and maybe it'll tell us the steps to do that. There you go. Select a column.
That's it.
Enter data. Click flash fill. Great. So yeah.
We got it. So you got options. You can always ask for this basic task, get the steps on how to do it. If you can't figure out how to ask the question, so that it'll give you the right VBA code or the right formula. Right, we got a nice question right here. What about in addition to your site? And I think this could apply to all three of us. Excel VBA is fun, ExcelFormulaBot, and myexcel.club. What about in addition to your site? In addition to your site, like when somebody, you're struggling with it, because you can't just get up there and just type a question and get the VBA code, and then if you don't already know how to code, like you're not even going to know what to do with it. So I'm stuck now. When you're when you go to myexcel.club, my website, and you get stuck right here, you can always just go to the community, and within the community you can ask. So it's not going to be an automated thing, and there's going to be an Excel expert me coming on board. Now, as far as Excel VBA is fun. I don't know if you've got you got a chat feature in case you have any questions. And then the Excel formula bot. I think what is being requested here, David, is some sort of help feature. Like, right, I can't figure out how to get the right answer, and then we can reach.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Then it kind of says, hey, if you're struggling with this, click here, and you'll be contacted by an Excel expert or something.
Yeah, so a couple of things. So one opportunity that I see from that question is doing the reverse. So if you go to the formulas tab, right, you can select you want to generate, explain. I don't have that for VBA. So if someone is provided with VBA code and they don't know what the heck it's doing, much like myself, it can explain it for you. So I see one opportunity there. The other one is every day, whether it's through the little chat button there at the bottom right, or people just going to the contact us page. Every day, I get people that drop in their CSVs and they're like, "Hey, I need help. I need help with this VBA, or I need help with this. It's more than just a formula." Part of it goes back to what you were saying, like AI isn't going to replace humans. Humans that use AI are going to replace those that don't.
Exactly.
And so there's there's definitely a market. It's something I actually thought about is looking to see if there's a partner out there or if it's just something we offer down the road of offering service-based consulting, because there are, like I said, the people just job these are like, hey, I need help, I'll pay you. Time for this right now.
Yeah, because
Wipe my kid's butt.
yeah, you're gonna have to know how to use the AI.
Yeah.
So you got to know Excel, then you got to know the AI. So you
Yeah.
start with the foundation. Since we're talking about VBA, sounds like we got somebody here that's got something that they're trying to do at work, and they're taking this opportunity to see maybe we can help them out. And this is for you, Dan. Can we try asking to give a VBA code to read a range into an array?
Ooh, okay. Let's see how we would word that. So let's see. We want to, okay. So let's just word it as simply and as concisely as possible, because I know that's always a good policy with AI. You be direct and you don't use too many words, I guess. So can you put that back on the screen, or let me see where it's.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, I'm just gonna say read range into an array, or maybe I should give a specific range like A1 through B5 or something. But let's try this.
Oops.
Oh, it's still loading. I
Let
got
me
I got to
turn you
refresh
on
the
right here.
page.
There you go.
Okay, I got to refresh the
you.
page because it's still mad at me from earlier. So, put, let's say, A1 through B5 into an array. Let's just ask it to do something like that, okay? So it did not freak out. It's pretty happy with that. It's wanting to put that into an array. Okay, dim as a variant object, K. So it's just straight up saying range A1 through B5 and throwing it into an array. Okay. Or you may want to use the transpose depending if you want it to be, you can have an array like this, or you can transpose it into this, or application.transpose. But yeah, you guys, we could look at that. You know what? Instead of me theorizing, let's test it.
Test it out. Let's see.
Yeah, man. Doesn't matter which sheet I'm on, because we're actually, let's see, A1, what I say through B5 will be these. So let's put a little bit more information in here, like just so we have some information in here. Not pretty information, but it's information. Okay, A1 through B5 is what it's going to talk about. So Alt F11, we're here. We paste this array example here, and we're going to step through this. So to step through again is F8 key. So this is going to make my array into a variable of variant type, and we're going to throw all this stuff from those cells into an array variable. So you can't see it by hovering it because it's got multiple values in one variable. So what we do, we're going to right click and we're going to add a watch. So in the watch window, we can actually pick this apart. So let's take a look. It'll make it a lot more clear. Yes, it worked. So check this out. We have an array, which is just what a range of cells is, right? It's just this by this, a grid. So 1 to 5, and this one is 1 to 2. So there's 2 columns, there's 5 rows. And if you look at this, the very first one is like this. Sheet 1 and ASDF, like this and this, right? So it worked perfectly. Yeah, I threw it into an array and it gave us the syntax exactly correct. 50 and 20, boom, boom.
Nice.
Yeah, great question too.
There's a few questions right here. Maybe between you and David, you can answer this.
Okay.
Is it possible to write a complex let function with Excel AI using argument variables?
So that's more in the formula department, though, right? Because
the let function.
That's going to be, that's not going to be as much of the VBA.
I'll just say to try it. There's not a lot of, at least I haven't seen too many of them.
You want to try it?
I think I'm with you, David. I think you just go for it. Just go for it. Kind of like when I was trying to write a dynamic, function, like for example, let's see.
Do you want to give it a try, Billy, on yours, or you want me to go at the formulas and give it a try?
Yeah, why don't you give it a try since you're
I'm already streaming, right? So maybe we'll go to explain, or do you want to generate? This is kind of, I don't care. Let's go to Excel, and maybe we'll have it generate something for us. So let's see, we want a complex let function. I don't know how to ask that. Should we just ask it that straight up? Maybe
Yeah.
maybe just start off with a basic, like how
Here,
to
why don't we do this?
yeah, go ahead.
If someone were to type in the formula first and have it explain, and then we can do the opposite. So that way we all have a good understanding of what the let formula is actually doing and how to ask it. So does anyone
Okay.
here want to type in an example of a formula? I have one. I can actually maybe send it to you through this
Okay,
chat.
go ahead and give me one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So equals let. We're going to let x. Okay, sum. We need the sum of x and 1, making 5. So we want it to explain this, right? Is
Yep.
that right? Okay,
Yep.
so we're going to submit that. Please explain what is up.
Yep.
And the output is create a variable x with a value of 5, and then calculate the sum of whatever x is plus 1. Spot on. Okay. So I guess the question was, if you had way more complicated stuff, would it spit this back out to us, I guess?
So why don't let's copy the output and then put that into the input.
Nice. Okay.
And then click
we're gonna
generate instead of explain. And then let's just make this more robust. Create a variable. Let's call it variable y with a value of 5, and then calculate the sum of x. Well, let's change that to y again. And do you want to just add something more complicated to the tail end of that? The sum of y and the square root of 50. I don't know. I don't know how complex
not?
it is.
I mean, it's more complex than it was, so we should try it. So we're gonna generate.
for it.
Let's just do it. Well, I think it already's done. I thought the page was still loading, but it already spit it out really quick.
It just gave it to you just like that, huh?
So y is 5, and we need y plus 1, comma.
Starting to have PTSD of all the algebra classes I took in high school.
So sum of y and 1, and so we may want to. It probably would be best to put this in a sum function, put sum here, and then ending parentheses here, because the comma, the comma probably should be a plus sign if we're adding that to the square root of 50.
Yeah.
Overall, it did give us a pretty good syntax though. And if you, like I said, if you know what's up, you can easily say, okay, well, I just need to put a plus sign there or make a sum function. But it pretty well kept up with what we wanted.
It's just how to, there's that little link right there, right underneath generate, right above the submit box. It says review best practices.
Yep.
Right there is good tips for, how to talk to the AI. And you really got to think about the formula that we use in communication all the time. E plus R equals O. An event has occurred. We go straight to the outcome that we desire, and then we formulate the response. The same thing. We're always focused on the outcome when we're asking the question of AI to solve an event. Focus on the outcome. And we've got a few more some VBA related questions, like from Razvan.
Hey, Jen, before we hop into that, I actually have to go run to a meeting. But thank you guys so much for.
Thanks, David.
Dan, pleasure meeting you, Mr. Aloha. Good chatting with you, man. And let's definitely do this again.
Yeah, we'll connect soon.
All right, nice meeting you guys.
Have a good one. Friday.
Aloha. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. All right, Dan, let's go. Let's keep on rolling over here.
So I got to tilt my head way. I got a big monitor. So what is the next question? Could you give some VBA code for reading a JSON file, and pasting the results into a sheet? Ooh, that's a fun one. So let's try that. So let's see if I can summarize this so the AI can help us. So read JSON file and paste results into sheet. Let's see. That may be too many commands at once, but why not? We're going to try it. This has been fun. Let's see. Oh, snap. Look at
What did
this.
we? Oh,
Using the file system object, which is how you interact with files on your computer, one way to do it. So we got a sheet, basically sheet 1, using the scripting object to get a text file or a JSON file. Wants to read the whole thing into this variable. That. I don't have a JSON file to test, but it's using, let's see, where's the JSON converter? Where's that coming from? See, okay. It's not actually saying where this JSON converter is coming from. So unless you guys see that being created prior to, I don't think that's a default thing in VBA, but let me check really quick, because there's always more to learn, right? So let's hit Control G with this here, or actually we'll just go do a test, right? I'm going to say JSON, what was it? Creator, JSON something. JSON converter. If it doesn't auto capitalize this, okay, so that doesn't exist. It's probably pulling code from somewhere else, some repository or somewhere online. But so this wouldn't work, I'm thinking, out of the box.
you know how
Right.
when you write a macro, you just press record. You're not actually writing code. We're just pressing record. And we're
Sure.
going through all the steps. And then you actually go into the Visual Basic Editor and you look at the code. I noticed that when we record the macro, it adds a bunch of, like, if you wrote the code for how to add the name, change the name to the title of a chart, whatever. And then
Yes.
I try to record a macro that does that. The code that Excel itself writes is going to be like this long compared to what you write, which is just a
100%.
little bit. So you think
Yeah.
that's something that's going on here?
It's possible. It's all what I see is, like, a lot of this stuff makes a lot of sense, but then you get to a point where this right here, all these things, the worksheet is going to be nicknamed WS, right? And then the file system object that, allows you to read files is being renamed into a nickname, FSO. But then you don't have anywhere where that actually came from. So it doesn't really exist. So it could be that, though. It could just be extra stuff. But I just, this one might be one that we just need to submit into the let's take a look at this and improve the product pile,
Oh,
if that makes
yeah,
sense.
because remember, there's that's incorrect button that we can help keep training the AI. So Razvan, there you go. I mean, just try it. Whatever it is, this is going to be one of those situations,
Right.
using AI where if we can imagine it, let's just try it and let's just see what happens,
Yeah.
and then let's start working our way. We can do like David was saying, if you know the formula, put in the formula, then you can just go through a few different steps within the AI to arrive at your destination. Let's see what other, we had a few other ones. What Dwayne was talking about, the reason that they wanted to code is because the flash fill is not always giving them the outcome desired. And that's just kind of how the flash fill is.
It
It's
does its
not,
best, but
yeah, it's not going to always be exactly correct. It's kind of,
Right.
reading a pattern that's going on, and then it spits it out. So a lot of it has to do with what all is going on in your spreadsheet. But I guarantee you can write the code that will
Oh,
guarantee
yeah.
the
I
desired
mean,
outcome. You just got to
we
figure
could
out
try
how.
could we try something like that, though? We could say, separate first name and last name from column A in a loop. Again, that might be too many steps for this beta, but it might actually, because it's been surprising me. Oh, what? It did not choke on that one. What do we got here? So we have a loop. We're
Just
going from
try it.
one. Yeah, this is incredible. So it's going. Yeah, it's, I use the Excel up method is my favorite. So I agree with that. Whatever row you're in, we're gonna use to get the last row. So we're saying whatever the last row is of your actual data that's not blank cells. We're gonna go from one to whatever that row is. Brilliant. Yeah. So we're looping from there, and everything inside the loop is gonna go several times. So basically, for each row, it's putting it in column B and C, which is good because that won't overwrite A. Brilliant. And so, yeah, it's trying to actually do that. Look at this. It's using a series of left, right, and mid and end string functions to try to get the first and last name into those neighboring cells. I would say that was pretty freaking spot on. I'm impressed. I honestly thought it was going to choke. I was like, because it's a very complicated series of things, but this looks great. Do you want to test
What
this
about
out on
check
Excel?
this out? This is interesting right here. Ask it to explain JSON converter. You know,
Oh,
I like how we're thinking. Instead of sitting there
yeah.
wondering, just put it into the AI and let's just see what happens,
I'm gonna
Because I think
copy that. I'm
sometimes we
gonna
start
copy that
thinking,
for later.
I wonder if it could do this. I don't think it could do this. And we decide in our own mind what the AI can do or can't do before we even ask it. So I say, let's not limit ourselves and let's just try it. Whatever it is, just try it.
Okay, let's try it. So let's see. So I'm just gonna say, explain JSON converter.
And by the
'Cause who
way, those
knows?
of you that don't have the link, I put the link in for the ExcelFormulaBot.com in the chat so you can access it.
Perfect. So I'm gonna hit submit. I wonder if I needed a period. Let's just
Maybe it could be have some to do with what Razvan is saying. JSON converter does not exist in VBA.
It's not native to it, so they could have just been from some article or whatever in the world AI uses in their huge repository of information. I don't know how it works, but that's so it didn't like that one, or it doesn't have anything to say exactly. So yeah, it was a cool test though.
Hey, that's all we got to do is just got to keep trying,
Just
instead
mess
of
with
sitting
it.
there, like I said, and us trying to figure out if the AI can do it or not. Let's just go straight to the AI and
Yeah,
see
let's
if we
try
can
it.
do it. All right, let's see
Absolutely.
here. There's a lot of questions that came through. I might have missed a few. So if I missed a few, just go ahead and feel free to ask it again. Here's how about generate Fibonacci string using a recurring function in VBA? What if we just copy that question and paste it?
Okay, let me find it.
Generate you think that? Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I noticed that one. Oh, here it is. Generate Fibonacci string using a recurring function in VBA. Okay, I'm going to put this in command form. So here we go. Give me a Fibonacci.
And it's working.
Do 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 do.
Need a longer drum roll than that.
It's thinking really hard. That's all. This is really hard. Uh-oh.
Well, we wait, we entertain. Anybody got some horn?
So,
we don't just
did I
do
get that error?
Excel.
I
So
think
what
it's mad at
happened?
me. I think I hurt its feelings.
Oh.
Oh, I
Hey, look.
did. I'm gonna refresh. I have an idea. I'm not. One more thing. So maybe it was too many words.
Just gotta keep working at it. See, that's exactly what David was talking about. It's not going to be AI taking our jobs. It's the guys that know how to use the people that know how to use AI really well that are going to take our jobs. So you got to understand the basics of Excel, understand some basics of VBA,
Aha.
and then get into the AI. Let's see what you got.
So I am not a math whiz, like David said. Math stuff makes me hurt unless it's basic math, and then for weird reasons I find it interesting. But
Hey, Bogdan, if Bogdan, take a look at that. Does that look okay to you?
yeah, we need a console.
So Bogdan, if you are still with us, let us know what you think right there.
Well, there's only one loop here, right? K is 3 to whatever n is, and n is however many items you want, but it's not. I feel like it should be a loop within a loop. Let's see, there's a next K. Right. So this is happening inside the loop. Everything in here is inside a for next loop. But I thought to do a Fibonacci, you had like have a loop and a loop or a loop and a loop and a loop. Yeah, it's not a recurring function. Oh, it's not recursive. Okay.
It's
Just a loop.
just a loop.
Well, maybe this is right. I apologize for not being better at math. So, yeah, I mean, hop on ExcelFormulaBot.com and try this out. Or we could probably just paste this in the thing.
Dwayne, I'm going to
Yeah.
reshare that link again. There it is.
Oh, shoot. I think the .com came into the private, but they get the idea.
Yeah.
ExcelFormulaBot. Perfect. Oh, I see. He's saying it should call itself, so it should have reference to the name of the macro itself, like starting itself over, calling itself. So
And we keep proving this, folks. We keep
Mhm.
proving the AI isn't going to do it all for us. We
Mhm.
still got to have some skills, and the skill is going to be being good at asking the right questions, being good at the basics of our craft that we're using the AI as a tool to enhance our ability. So you got to have a good solid foundation.
100%.
All right, let me scroll through here and see
See.
what else we got. But hey, everybody, just ask the AI. Just whatever. A lot of these questions that I'm seeing in here, just go right ahead and type it into AI. Like there was a question just a moment ago, like, for example, how about separating numbers within a cell that are separated by commas? So the comma is going to be a delimiter. There's all kinds of different ways of doing this. You can type it into the basic task, and then the formula bot is probably going to tell you to use the text to columns tool and maybe separate. Oh, this is separating numbers within a cell that are separated by commas. Are they okay? This is a little bit different. How about separating the? Well, I would just type that into that's. I would put that into the VBA. Ask the VBA to do that right there instead of
Okay.
a formula.
By the way, Bogdan had said that he had misspelled Fibonacci. The second time around, I spelled it correctly, and that's where we got this output. But let's try the one that you had on the screen there just a second ago, talking about splitting, basically using splitting based by commas. Let me see if I can find that one. Oh, thank you. Separating numbers within a cell that are comma separated, basically random. So, okay. Let's say separate numbers from cell A1. Sep let's see, how did you say that? Separate all the comma separated numbers from A1. It may give us some kind of split function, or I don't know if I am even asking this correct, but let's try it. Hello. It already spit out something. So we have I, so we're doing some kind of number loop, right? Here's all the stuff inside the loop, right? Because it's not indented for us, but that's okay. So if the string is from cell A1, that's perfect. And so here's the string again. We're going however many characters the cell A1's string. Let's say it was the word Billy. Billy. That means there's 5 characters, so it would go from 1 to 5, the length of that string. And so each time it's going to look at the first character, and then the mid function is going to do the second character, I, and then the third character, L, and then fourth, L, and then Y. And if any of those are a comma, it looks like it's going to do some kind of fancy voodoo to take that cell in column A and throw that in. I don't really know what this is going to do. I'm just trying to keep up with this thing. Should we try it?
Try it out. Let's see.
Let's try it. Here I am trying to be all Voodoo.
And Houston,
Genius.
Houston, if you and a few have asked how do you follow Dan Strong and me, Mr. Aloha, on LinkedIn, and I'm gonna go right ahead and put in my the link to my LinkedIn profile right in there, and then whenever Dan can put his in there, he'll put it in there, and then that way, let's connect.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually not letting me put stuff in that chat. All I can do is private chat you, buddy.
Oh, okay.
But we'll
I'll
work
get
on
your
that. No
I'll
worries,
get
man.
your link.
Okay, so we're gonna try this one, separate numbers. First of all, just being aware here that it looks like it's gonna overwrite cell A1 right off the get-go because I is starting off as 1, and we're doing something to cell A1, column 1 and row 1. So it looks like it's gonna overwrite itself, but at least we'll have the original value of Aloha in this. So
The
without
most
further ado,
important.
let's see what happens. Let's hit. I'm gonna hit it. Okay, I just ran it. Looks like, oh, you know what? I need to do comma separated something in here is what I should have done. So that's probably why it
Yes.
says aloha. So let's do this. I'm gonna hit 5. So it says 6 here and it has 7 here. And that's it. Okay, so it was halfway close, but I think it got very confused about what we wanted. So yeah, if you use the array function called split, you could get this stuff into an array, which would contain a 1 and then a 5 and a 6 and a 7. You could loop through and do whatever you want with that. But it was trying to help us though. Still a good syntax for doing a loop and some valuable stuff you can learn from that.
So
From
we're either
mid,
going to get the straight up answer that we need, or we're going to get pretty close to
very
it,
close.
and then
Yeah,
rely on our basic skills ability to, fine tune it. Just keep going back to that. It's just a
100%.
tool that is helping us be better.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that can use the AI real good and got a good solid foundation, you're the ones that are going to be the winners. And I got a question right here in regards to what's the cost for the full version of this? It's really affordable. What was it that Davis was charging for this? Let me go back over to Excel Formula Bot. And Excel Formula Bot right there. You can just go to pricing, Excel Formula Bot, and you got 5. You can try it for free. 5. You have 5 generations of every month for free. Then you've got this premium membership, and then you've got your business membership. So just go on over to the pricing section of the Excel Formula Bot, and if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link right over to the pricing section of the Excel. Let's go right over here, and here's my affiliate link for the Excel Formula Bot. I'm gonna put it in the chat for you. And then when you go to make a purchase, let's say I can't go to the purchase because when I log in, I already have a yearly subscription, so it's gonna. Okay, so use the coupon code Mr. Aloha when you go to checkout, and then that will give you an additional 10% off whatever discount the Excel Formula Bot has going on. So Formula Bot.
Nice.
Yep. And then, of course, I encourage you to come check out Excel's VBA is fun. And then we got the 7 steps to Excel success at myexcel.club. When this is for Excel basics, we're getting the basics, $7 a month, and we're learning the 7 steps to Excel success basics. All right. Now we're back over here. What I recommend to all of you is don't be scared of AI. Embrace it. Be scared if you don't understand the basics of whatever it is that you're becoming proficient in. Okay, you got to lay a good, solid foundation in Excel. That involves, the basics: design, build, calculate, print, automate. 7 steps to Excel success. Work your way into coding. Work your way into tables. Work your way into structured references. Work your way into VBA, and then next thing you know, you're a winner because you know the basics and you got AI skills. E plus R equals O. Remember that. We focus on the outcome. Uh, anything else? Anything else you want to talk about right now, Dan? Any other final questions before we end this live stream?
No, but I think you're 100% right. You know, when they had the iron industry went out of business like that. Whenever steel came in, then there's stainless steel now, and all that. You know, as long as you have the tools and as long as you're able to keep up with the foundational stuff that's important, you're not left out in the cold. So, you know, me and Billy can help you. And yeah, I just appreciate you having me on. This has been a blast, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dan, for being on here. I mean, I couldn't have done this without you, and it was also nice having David. You know, I just imagine David sitting back there, like getting all these questions, and he's quickly typing the answers and saving a whole bunch of answers, and then putting them into the AI. You know, it's fun. The AI is David back there, and he's got his baby right here. He's holding it while he's answering us. That guy, I'm impressed. I'm definitely impressed. So let's see. Here, Houston's got a quick question for us here. Thanks, Dave, for joining us. I've been taking numerous Excel courses on LinkedIn Learning. They're all show a stable version of Excel. Okay. Excel 365 is basically Microsoft 365. All right. It's a subscription service. So, like, let's say you get Excel, a standalone version, Excel 2019, for example. It doesn't update. It just sits on your computer. And Microsoft for the past few years has been working us into a subscription model. We evolved into Office 365, and now they're calling it Microsoft 365. Everything's bundled into that membership, and then you just pay a monthly membership, and you're always going to have. You're not going to say, "Hey, I have Excel version, this or that." You're always going to have the latest version. Microsoft 365, as long as you're paying your subscription, it's always available to you. And you know that Microsoft is available for free also, right? Just go to office.com and sign up for free. So, all right. Looks like Houston, we put in the chat. We put in our LinkedIn profiles. Just you can search Daniel Strong on LinkedIn if you didn't see our links already, and just Billy Wigley, and you'll find us on LinkedIn. But good job, Houston! You took the annual subscription. That's the way to go, and it's very affordable now. Excellent, right on. I'm gonna say. So hey, we're gonna go ahead and end this like we always end. We don't get mad, get skills. We always encourage a positive mental attitude. We're always gonna say, keep on learning. We love you. And most of all, don't get mad. Get skills, my friends. Aloha.